Hello, good morning, and welcome back to Nebula Quest. I am Noden, your host, as always. If you are hearing my voice, if you're watching this video,
Frameshift drive
I have
charging.
already thrown my computer out the window. So let's have a chat. Let's get comfy here and have a chat. Let's get some water going so we can have nice
Engage.
moist palates. As we converse about the pain and suffering I have just caused myself unknowingly. It wasn't something that I planned to do. It wasn't on my to-do list. Nevertheless, much pain and suffering. So, I recently wanted to try out a new piece of recording software, which will be unnamed for now, just because, it may turn out to be an issue that I have had and not an issue with the program itself, and I wouldn't want to soil the good name of the software because I was an idiot. So, anyways, regardless. So, recently tried it out and I was avoiding using it for a while. Like, I wanted to make sure that, like, all of my... Oh, can we get a good... Thank you. We're going over here. Wanted to make sure that all my regular series were being done with the old software, so that I knew that, like, because it was working, and I didn't want to go fucking things up.
Frameshift drive charging.
But this week we have, because Alien Isolation ended, we have an open time slot. So I wanted to try a couple of new series out. So I have 2 new series that are on the books, ready to go. So sat down, recorded them. Like, this is the perfect opportunity. I'll use the new recording software. Got them both recorded like an hour of each of them. Sat down to edit the video, edit everything together. Oh my goodness, guys, it was so good. These series are going to be fantastic. Except that for whatever goddamn reason, I cannot render the video. I have done everything I can think of. For whatever reason, every time I try to render a video using using the recordings that came from that piece of software, it fails. It doesn't matter what rendering settings I use. Doesn't matter what length it is. Originally, like, Premiere, sometimes I have problems with Premiere. Sometimes, anyways.
Warning, taking heat damage.
Okay. I got a little close there. Talking too much, not doing enough of the old...
Warning, taking heat damage.
Yep, not doing enough of the old piloting. Let's get... we'll lock that as a destination. That looks like it'll be good and far away. Thank you. Is that, yes it is, okay.
Frameshift drive charging.
But, what was I talking about? Yeah, well, so I have problems with Premiere occasionally anyways. Like, once a month or so, it kind of gets a little bit upset when you don't empty the cache all the time, it seems. So every once in a while it'll do sort of the same thing issue that I've had, where basically it'll start to render, and then at a random point in the render or in the export, it'll freeze. If I use the, they've got another export software, which name I'm forgetting what the name of it is. I think it's called Bridge, Adobe Bridge. Maybe it's not Bridge, but anyways, it's fantastic too because it allows you to queue up a bunch of stuff. So I do that all the time, especially when I'm doing like 3 or 4 episodes or something where I've recorded like 3 episodes. I can just set them all up and render them all out individually from the same thing. It's fantastic, love it. Just hit one button, I walk away. I go to the gym, I come back, everything's done. Bit of a pain when, like I said, every once in a while, like maybe once a month, if I haven't remembered to clean out the cache, it will, it'll just freeze. It'll just somewhere in in the middle of one of the renders, it'll just go, I've had enough, and it'll just stop. And that's it. Once it kind of does it once, it will not do it again. So, but like I said, usually very, very simple. I go, I go into the settings, whatever, hit clean cache. I go to the actual, where the cache is, delete the cache, restart the computer, come back to it, everything works fine. It just picks up it has to make a couple of new samples. That's fine. No big deal. It's an extra step. It takes a little bit more time. I get a little frustrated, but everything gets done and everything's okay. This time, and so that's what kind of happened. But again, is that it would just it'd be rendering, and then suddenly nothing. It would just stop dead. Nothing I can do. I'm like, okay, so do my normal tricks, and whatever. Nothing working, and and when it wasn't working before I cleaned it out, I was actually trying it on a piece of like older recording stuff. It was something else that I recorded. What was it? That was, I don't remember. Oh, Tales from the Borderland. And it wasn't working. So I'm like, okay, well, that's not a big deal. So, but whatever. So do the normal tricks and try again. But this time I tried it with, one of these new, things that were one of the new series, and it worked, and it wouldn't work. So I'm like, okay, let's try a few things, and nothing was working. I was looking at my memory usage. My memory usage was through the roof. Can't figure out why. At all. Very confused. Very, very confused. So that, it's just not working. I'm very, at this point, frustrated and whatnot. And then, so like even to the point where I've like uninstalled Premiere Pro now and reinstalled it, and still having the same issues, except that now, at least, when I did a test video on old footage recorded through my old recording software, which is DxStory, everything works fine. Tried to do even a short video, like a 1-minute video, recorded using this new program, nothing works. So I'm a little bit upset because, well, not upset, I'm really frustrated because I've spent 2 days now trying to get things working, and like even today, well, not today I'm recording, yesterday, if you are indeed watching this video, I didn't even have a video up because I just didn't have anything ready. Like nothing is going right. So I don't even have any like back catalog to kind of feed in. So it's like, if this doesn't work, then I got nothing. I got nothing for you until I get it working. That's where I'm at. So hopefully, I've now done a test video that has rendered properly. I'm hoping that will translate to a full-length video rendering properly. We will find out. I am recording this back with DxStory, not with the new program. It's kind of unfortunate. There's a lot of cool things about the new program that I like. It does a lot of things that DxStory does that I like, but it does a couple of things that, I was kind of hoping I could get to, but so far, so frustrating. And then the worst part is that now I've got a full hour of like video. So one of the games is like an RPG game, and so now I've got a whole hour of an RPG game that I've already experienced. So I really don't know what to do. I just don't know what to do with it. Like, do you re-record it? And I mean, I could re-record it and just be honest about it, which is what I'll probably do. I'm not to say that I would re-record it and like hide the fact, but it's like, I don't know. But you know what's going to happen. Like, you don't know. I don't know. So far, nothing really has kind of happened where it's going to be like, ooh, like groundbreaking. Unless something else happens, new happens. But it's like, now I've got, I don't know, it's just very disheartening, and it's like I've wasted 2 hours on those recordings, and they're completely useless to me, unless I can figure out a way to make them less useless, which I'm not hopeful for, but then I am also pessimistic. I don't know, it's very strange. Like, I've got a very like I'm very, what's the right term? Pragmatic, I suppose. But I think a lot of people will probably call me like an eternal optimist for the most part. I'm really not bothered by a lot of things, mostly because I'm very realistic about a lot of things. I realize, you know, at the point where my ability to control things disappears, and once it's out of my hands, it's out of my hands. You know, there's only so much I can do. So, so I'm very involved with everything up to that point, and then once it's kind of out of my hands, I'm like, all right, well, you know, like things are set in motion that I can no longer affect. So there's no point in worrying about them or anything like that. Things will come to pass as they come to pass. Which is very good for many things, but it's a pain in the ass sometimes when it means it's like, okay, so I now have 2 hours of video like recorded that I can't use, and my first reaction now that I found out, like literally my first reaction was, as soon as I finished recording a single, or rendering I should say, a single 5-minute video that actually rendered fine using old materials, I immediately like moved like all of that recording stuff to the trash. Now I have removed it from the trash. I did catch myself before I actually hitting the actual delete key, but that's my thing. It's like, okay, well, it's all useless, let's go. And that's it. It's like, I don't know if I can save it, then it'll fantastic, but if I can't, I'm fucked. Like, I don't know what to do with it. So and then it's just very and then I'm just very, especially with the RPG game, because one is an RPG game and the other one is not. The one that's not will be fine. I'm really excited for both games, to be perfectly honest. But alright, I'll slow it down. Let's take a peek see at this star baby. It's the nice Chinese red star here. Standing right here, y'all. But yeah, man, it's just like, I don't know. I'm not looking forward to like basically re-recording like that whole first hour of the RPG game, and it just seems like it's just gonna be gross. I don't know what the right term is. I don't know what to think about it. It's just not. I'm just not thrilled by the whole thing. That's basically what it is. I'm just not thrilled. Is one of those another planet or something out there in the distance? I'm just looking at that little like 2-star thing over there. Those are planets. Cool. Good. I haven't been doing a lot of like extra sort of planet hunting and whatnot. I've been kind of relying a little bit too much on the dubstep scanner, I think, and not exploring sort of the outer reaches of these star systems, which is probably, I don't know, it's like, it's one of those, it's sort of a catch-22, because we have a destination that we're trying to get to, but at the same time, I mean, you want to kind of do a fairly good job, you know, exploring. Alright, so let's head over to those. And it's just these guys here, right? Let's run this thing again anyways. There we go. And I picked it up that time. That's fine. Yeah, like we kind of have a destination, so like I feel like I don't want to spend too much time just poking about in, you know, the place. You know, I'm trying to get somewhere. You know, we can't spend all day just hanging out. But you know, maybe we can. I don't know. We can with these ones. They were nice and easy to find. Didn't take up too much of our time. Woo! Okay, let's start slowing it down. We should start scanning this any second. Thank you. Perfect. But yeah, so anyways, I'm a little bit I'm not in a great mood. I'm like, okay. And it's been a really busy like few days too, so it's not like I could even dedicate like an 8-hour block of time even, we'll say, to, okay, let's just find out what's wrong with this. And then I don't know, and like doing Google searches and whatnot, nothing was being helpful in the least. I was just, ugh. Can't tell you just how amazingly, just annoyed I have been over this whole thing. Like, Pat was trying to get me to jump on to, because today, as I'm recording this, is April 1st, April Fools. Pat was trying to get me on to Dying Light today, because he said that there was, like, some cool, whatchamacallits, April Fool's Easter eggs, but, and he didn't want to spoil them for me. But I'm like, listen, like, I'm trying to get this working again, plus I'm like, I gotta leave in, like, an hour. Like, I just don't have time. I don't have time to do this. And then he was like, you know, he was trying to help me and whatnot, like, figure out what it was, and like, I was so frustrated that I'm like, I'm getting frustrated with him just like asking me like, oh, how do we like, well, is it doing this? I'm like, well, you know, I'm like, just shut up, I'm trying to work this out. And I mean, it's not his fault. Like, he's doing his best to try to help me out, but like, that's the level of frustration I'd reached, that like anybody who was even trying to console me was just being like, I wasn't actually like typing shut up to him, but I'm like, in my head, I'm just like screaming at everything and everybody. I don't have anger issues, I don't, but man, it was just like a very, very thinly controlled amount of like rage that was just like boiling, and I was just really ready to throw my whole computer out the window, because it's amazingly frustrating when everything works perfectly, everything's working fine, and then nothing changes, and then suddenly, man, nothing works. It's like, come on, I just need everything to work the way that it has been working, you know, just for the rest of my life. If that's just possible, can we just not change anything for the rest of my life? Everything I want to do just works. Please, that'd just be fantastic. But no, we gotta continue making advancements, making things better for everybody. Ugh. No, it's a downside to modern computing, is that a lot of things update subtly in the background. Little things change, and sometimes when little things change, they don't work with their friends, and that, you know, screws up somebody. And that today happened to me, or yesterday happened to me, or the day before yesterday. See, this is it. This is like 2.5 days now running, and it's like I've had a grand total of about 4 or 5 hours like at home that I've been trying to deal with it, and every one of them is just pain in the ass. Like 4 o'clock yesterday morning, or 3 o'clock yesterday morning, no, 3 o'clock this morning, I was still trying to get things figured out, and not having a great time with it. And I'm like, okay, if this next render fails, then I'm just going to turn everything off and I'm going to go to bed. And that's what happened. It eventually failed. And then the worst, oh my goodness, the one that killed me was the first time that that render failed. It was like 5 minutes to the end of the render. Like, and the render takes, half an hour, 45 minutes. I think it took 36 minutes, I think, for this render. So it's like, I mean, not a significant amount of time, but it's like, but it was like 5 minutes. It was like right there at the end, and I'm like, and it failed the first one. And I'm like, no, and I was so excited, because I was so excited to bring this new show, both of these new shows, but one specifically, the one that's not the RPG. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, so I'm like, I just want to do a show and entertain the people and have a little bit of fun, but no, they won't let me do these things. I just want to do a little bit of fun for you guys, but no. Anyways, this has been a really, I'm sorry, this has been a really moany episode, and yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here in a second, and then I'm going to throw it all together and set it to render, and then I'm going to go to the gym, and then I'm going to come back, and hopefully when I come back I will find that it has completed successfully, and I will be in a much better place mentally and physically. But until that time, ciao, I love you. Good night. Ooh, 2 new astral objects. Astronomical. Let me do this thing here. Many new. Okay. Let me do one of these guys. Somebody's been here.